Well, hi. Um, Today I wanted to talk about a thing that happened near the end of the last Ada County GOP meeting. At that meeting on Thursday, Mark Johnson of Region 4 and then Region 5 fame, also noted conservative stalwart in the local sphere, proposed three short bylaw amendments that I feel I need to talk about. And yes, for people's information, I have not forgotten to do the other videos I said I would do. This one, however, it's going to take precedence, as you'll see. I want to start by saying that over my history with local politics, I have had a generally high opinion of Mark. Not only that, but he was a person that I trusted with certain information, with at least trusted certain information at the time. Uh, I am not sure exactly what he is up to, and I am desperately trying to hang on to the ignorance side of Hanlon's razor here. I know I've mentioned it a few times, a bunch of times here on this channel, but just as a refresher, I can't talk today. Hanlon's razor is a lot like Occam's razor. It states that you shouldn't ever apply malice where ignorance would fit. It means that you should never assume somebody was out to do something bad when they simply weren't just educated enough, or informed enough. So you see the title of this video. However, this is not necessarily to say that Mark himself is bad, at least not from what I can see here. Now, on to the proposals themselves. The first two, as I received them, are basically the same thing applied in two areas. However, there's a little detail happening in just a second. I'll look at the Central Committee one first. You'll see why I called it that. See, the first one was a proposal to raise the quorum required for Ada County Republican Central Committee meetings to 50%. As you can see, it's currently at 30%. The second proposal is to do something similar with the executive board, with the executive committee meetings rather. Raise it from 35 to 65%. Raising those numbers ignores certain political realities that I think Mark is very well aware of, and if he isn't, he definitely should be. There isn't much to say about those two proposals other than it never looks good when you try to raise a quorum, and I don't think that those numbers are going to be practical during certain parts of the year. Sorry, my phone was bothering me. During certain parts of the year. As Mark very well should know, getting people to show up for meetings is not the easiest thing, and it is definitely going to be a problem during certain low parts of the primary cycle. And just for everyone's information, I am defining the primary cycle as the space of time between two political primaries in the even numbered years. In May, that's what I'm defining it as. Also, while I don't think this is necessarily Mark's direct intent here, it is an extremely common thing for a minority of people in power to either raise or lower quorum requirements to affect their will over a majority. In fact, that is very often what people are up to when they change those kinds of details. There's an interesting detail that I didn't really write much for here since I noticed it last second. The two numbers that Mark is proposing here, they are not consistent. Now, I'll show you what I mean here. Regular meetings are, as you can see right there, 30%, and he's proposing to change to 50. And The other, he's proposing to, executive meetings are quorum is at 35, yet he proposes to raise the quorum requirement for the executive committee a lot more. Now, I don't know what to make of that, but I can't assume it's the ignorance side of Hanlon's razor, even when I really want to. The third proposal is that he introduced. Sorry, I'm going to start that part over again. I need to go to bed. The third proposal that he introduced is the one that set me off almost immediately. This is for a few different reasons, but the most pertinent one here, as far as this video is concerned. Oh, jeez. Sorry, OBS is fighting me here. Is the is that there is a thing called the local bylaw archive in the Idaho Republican Party, and I am the original author of the rules for it. Now, see, you can see right down there, though, at least I hope so, that it says the secretary shall ensure the current bylaws are available on the Idaho GOP website. Now, I'll tell you the issues that we're bringing up when we do that, though. I've made a few posts about it on social media in the recent months. However, I cannot for the life of me remember when in the recent videos I told the story, and I know I've told it on video at least a couple of times. Most notably, at least a couple other times. Most notably, the update video that I did the morning after the seditious six resigned last year. That I know I told the bylaw archive story then, at least most of it. I know I've made. Oh gosh, I was about to read that part again. Here is a Cliff Notes version of the story behind the local bylaw archive. This is really condensed. So if you want to hear the full thing, go watch that other video. At the very first meeting I was ever at as a precinct committeeman, both sides of an issue were wrong, and I hated to be in that situation. It took a lot of time and effort to fix the main part of this problem, being that nobody knew where the rules were. Now, after it took all that effort on top of the various problems that the lack of bylaws caused, and were in the middle of causing at the time also, that's another story I might not ever tell, I eventually got the state party to create the local bylaw archive so that everyone could see what their rules were. Now, with that background out of the way here, the third proposal was to prescribe a specific procedure for submitting bylaws to the state party. You know, that little bit in blue that I see right down there still. I hope OBS is still showing. What's worse is what ended up precipitating him writing this. Not having to rehash a bunch of stuff, I'm just going to read what I wrote on my as a Facebook post about it that last night. So here, I got my iPad right here. Also not having to rehash a bunch of stuff. I'm just going to never make rules or rule changes on the sole basis of frustration. Ask me how I learned that lesson the hard way. Anyway, I am the original author of Article 15 Local Bylaw Archival. This is of the state rules. It is one of my babies. Section 3 is of particular importance because one of the features of the article to make it endure the years is that it is a secondary archive. The archive, and by extension the rule about it, is a brace against factional infighting. Requiring Section 3 to be different will invariably cause factional infighting. Today, an amendment to the Ada County GOP bylaws introduced prescribing procedure to make submissions to the archive. This was apparently as a result of not finding a current version of the document. And I can actually, through my history with it, I can relate. I can sympathize there. Now, I am not going to assign blame as to the source of that problem. However, rules already exist about having that document being available. Those rules are Article 4, Section 3, and Article 7, Section 2, for counties and legislative districts respectively. If a solution to the problem was needed, then it should have been sought as a problem with, under those rules. Making another rule about it is excessive and unnecessary. It also possibly goes against said sections already, as well as going against the parliamentary authority article of the Ada County GOP bylaws. If not the letter, definitely the spirit. I am thoroughly against the proposed amendment to said bylaws. It's the wrong fix. And that's what I wrote. You can probably go find that post if you really want to hear it again, or just rewind the video a few seconds. I don't care. I'm gonna now bring over the rules that I wrote at the time about the Idaho, local bylaw archive, as soon as I can get OBS to cooperate. See, these are still the rules about it, by the way. This has not been changed. The state party, and I'll read it right here just so that we get through all of the issues going on here. Article 15, Local Bylaw Archival. Section 1, the state party shall, under direction of the state party chairman and the executive committee, keep and maintain a secondary article of all legislative district and county rules or bylaws and related relevant compendia. Now, there's a whole sidetrack as to why those last 3 words are there. Way too much of a diversion, even though I've got the little sign up, but that's way too much of a diversion to really cover. But yeah, those last 3 words are a whole rabbit hole that are absolutely necessary. Section 2, such an archive mandated by Section 1 shall be made available online via the state party website, which shall not contravene any local bylaws, rules, agreements, or understanding directing their keeping and assured existence. Additionally, it must be clearly stated on the website the last time, with as much specificity as is prudent, such rules or bylaws were last amended. Section 3. The absence of rules or bylaws in an archive mandated by Section 1 shall not be construed to endorse, condone, effect, or direct any punitive or exclusionary actions against any legislative district or county central committees or any of its officers. Furthermore, there shall be no ex post facto application in whole or in part of this article. Now, there's 2 sections. Now, Section 3 is the thing that I really had a thing going on there with. But also there's a brief thing I might want to say about Section 2 there. Making specific procedure about submitting bylaws to the archive is a bad idea. Saying that, it kind of sounds like I'm Section 2 is against that, but it's actually kind of for it when you think about it. Also, as an aside, Mark has definitely seen a bunch of different rules and bylaw amendment proposals over the years, and so I'm wondering why the heck he didn't just write and type them up properly here. Like, I've shown other documents on this channel, many times by now, about this kind of thing, and he decided to just screenshot some stuff and put in some colored writing. I'm a bit annoyed by this because it shows a lack of respect. Now, the Section 2 part that I just hinted at, Section 2 is more referring to any current, already existing understandings and procedures, because we can't come down as the state party and then start telling people what to do about that kind of thing if we're making this rule but certain things already existed. That's going to cause the very kind of infighting I was looking to prevent. Also, with Section 3 down there, the absence of rules shall not be construed. So Section 3 is absolutely trying to steer things away from punishing people from not having bylaws or rules. And there was this whole discussion I had with somebody. I think it was in Twin Falls County at the time. I might be remembering that really wrong. But this was also supposed to mean, Section 3 right there, current bylaws. Now, I actually want to strike this because it should be the case that current bylaws are, are put on the state website as quickly as possible. However, there's still that internal discussion going on, and we shouldn't be punishing people for just being late for stuff, turning in their homework late. It's a bit of a different situation where people are counting on not current rules to be around to control people and just simply turning in your homework late. Those two situations are different and way far apart from each other. Now, I understand getting frustrated at current documents. Believe me, through this story, you should understand why I would be frustrated with bylaw documents not being available. Doing this, that down there in blue, that's not the answer. Maybe quickly talking with somebody and saying, hey, this still isn't on the website. What gives? Come to them as a person first before trying to make rules about it. You don't want to burn out learning why you don't do that. Because by the time the full consequences of such a thing have played out, you've already been kicked out and everybody hates you. I've seen this happen to people. And, to be quite honest with you, I kind of don't want it to happen to Mark. But I am absolutely going to be campaigning against these rule changes. Now, I'm at the end of my notes here. So, like I said, I'm going to be making those other videos soon. It's just, life. Life happens. I'm sure life happens with all of you. It happens with me too. It happens with everyone. But I will see you all later. Blessings.